Adding commentary to the story on nonviolent ex-felons being able to restore their rights, specifically the right to bear arms, the Second Amendment. I personally am not a felon. I personally have no record. I've never been charged with a crime. But I grew up in I grew up in a community where low-income families lived, and things happened. A lot of the kids grew up together. Some of them got in trouble. Some of them, like we would say most kids from cities would, get into. Some kids advanced and got into bigger trouble, but they were still kids. I've had friends who got into drugs because that was their only option, because their parents didn't, put out a better way of life for them. So they began to sell drugs, and a lot of them got caught. And these are kids that I grew up with or grew up around, family members of mine. But I have a very specific example. I had a friend who got in trouble at the age of 19 with drugs and was sent to prison for his crime. He paid for his crime. He fessed up. He didn't deal with plea deals or any of that stuff. He stood up and said, "I did this." He did his time. He got out of prison, and he began to look for something constructive to do to stay out of trouble. He went for a number of years. Then he started a family. And I watch him struggle because he has this felony and it's really difficult for him to get a job. But he's still doing it. He's working. I don't think I've ever been around the guy and, it wasn't a good time. It wasn't good conversation. It was always positive. It was always about something. I don't ever recall him not having some type of job, regardless of, how, little it paid. He always contributed to his family, takes care of his sons, good person, model citizen. But he can't protect his family with a firearm because of something he did at the age of 19. Do I think everyone should just have their rights restored if they committed a felony, whether it be violent or nonviolent? No. I do believe it should be on a case-by-case basis. And I do believe it should extend past just nonviolent felonies. If someone was violent and it happened when they were 16, but they were charged as an adult, and, 25 years has passed and they're just a normal, average, everyday citizen because, they changed their life. Things change. I think that they should be considered. They should at least be allowed to fill out an application and have it looked over by the ATF and have an investigation done. I say if they are a violent felon, that they should go through a special vetting process where they actually sit down with an ATF or FBI agent and they do, go through an interview process. And they should follow up with the interviews. And they should give them their rights back and then continue to follow up with this individual. If that makes them feel better, because doing something when you're a teenager and being punished for the rest of your life for it just doesn't seem fair to me. And yeah, there should be some limitations. I mean, if you're using an illegal firearm, you're done. If you've attacked someone, you've shot someone, killed someone with an illegal firearm, you should be banned for life. I have no problem with that. But if you got into, a bar fight and you got charged with a felony, you shouldn't be banned for life, especially if you were 19, 20 years old, you were in college, and today you're, 40 years old and you got a family. You still have a responsibility to that family, and you should be able to take part in this country. You should be able to vote. You should be able to protect your family with a firearm, because things change and people change. So, that's just my opinion on it. And I'm glad that, Ken Burns is looking out for our rights, because not a lot of representatives do that anymore. And it's good to see someone like him speaking out for Americans and, standing up for Americans. So thank you guys for watching, and just tell me what you think in the comment section. Peace.